Patch notes! We got them! Also, some people were asking how can you have opponents if they just wipe the ghosts. I don't know if it changed, they probably didn't. But basically in like the testing environment, even when you'd have like 5 people play, if they would wipe the ghosts, again, this is months ago, months and months ago, they basically had like bots, basically. And once you face the bots and you defeat all of them, and there's not that many, the players are in the queue already. So that's how that works. Basically, if you play on like the very second a server comes up, you're probably going to have a really easy run. Probably. Also, I have seen like a level 8 ghost on like on day 2 or 3 or something. So, no guarantee of that. Anyway, new patch, new season. What do we got? So they're changing the prize pass. I don't care about this too much personally. I did not read this beforehand, so I might be a little bit slow here. So I got to level 89 on the previous season. I did not pay for any skips, and I didn't play for like 6 or 7 total days. But it looks like they're increasing the amount of experience that you get. Quite a lot, I would say. So probably it will be easier. Oh, it'll be a lot easier to get the expansions, actually. Like, I think people without buying them in advance will get the expansions pretty quickly. Matchmaking for normals, more appropriate to new players. That's probably very good. Monster XP on health bar. Okay, so you get experience progressively. So if you get a monster to like 1 health and die instead of getting 0 experience, probably you get 1, because most monsters give 2 experience. Is a really good change. This is how it worked in like a testing environment a long time ago. So I do agree that this is a better way to do it. Good. Purchase upgraded items for Foria, upgrade hammer, and counter upgrades. Preview. Oh, okay. So they made the preview window a little bit more common in the encounters, so you know what you would get if you choose to upgrade or do whatever. That's good. They should do that. That's good. Temporary player buffs no longer appear on enemy ghosts. This is really stupid. It's not that stupid after like day 5 or 6, but on like day 3, you could have a ghost where almost their entire health bar is temporary shield. And on like day 3, no one has a build. So they're just literally twice as strong, which is ridiculous. Right? Like that's insane. So they basically had to get rid of the temporary buffs on the early days or make them not go on ghosts. And I think having them not go on ghosts is the better change. So that's good. New items. I think we saw them all. Pygmalion's getting a lot of Piggle stuff, which looks really interesting. And Vanessa gets a bunch of like weapons with cool tech-related abilities. Obviously, there's a lot of new stuff on the season, but it looked to me like the Vanessa item pack was not super amazing. And the Piggles stuff, some of it is definitely crazy OP. Okay, so these are the new Piggles resulting from some of the Piggles pig items. Mac changes. Oh yeah, I saw people saying they bonked everything. So bonking everything means everything got a 1 second higher cooldown. This does not affect all players. Does not affect all heroes equally. The most affected hero, if everything gets plus 1 second, the most nerfed hero is Dooley. Because Dooley is based on looping items. The second most impacted hero, I think, is Mac, which is in very late game, but also based on looping items with cross-charging, pendulum, and library. Like, library right now is only minus a second. Library might literally do nothing compared to last patch on most boards, right? Well, I guess it's not a lot of Mac items, but it's the pretty big ones. The Rainbow Potion is faster. Noxious Potion is faster. This doesn't make much of a difference because it only has 1 ammo. Carpet going to 7 is a pretty big nerf, but Carpet is really insane early. Excavation tools, okay, sure. Venomous Dose, that's the one that poisons both players. This is significant because there is the Claw that has a 5-second cooldown. So now the dose will not always go before it. You'll have to like modify its cooldown. I'm not sure if like the left-right thing will prioritize Venomous Dose. Probably it does not. Most items have the same priority. Some items have higher priority, some have lower priority. I don't think Venomous Dose would have high priority over a weapon. So, Strength Potion going to 7, nerfs burn builds because they're not bumping up Calcinator. So Calcinator is 7, and now Strength Potion. That's the thing, gives you crit, also 7. Not the biggest change, but you might need a slot and hourglass to make the the claw's 6. Oh, that's fine. Never mind. The claw's fine then. So yeah, Calcinator is nerfed a little bit. Not that big, but a little bit. Dually. So the core up to Primal Core, Crit Core, Ignition Core, Weaponized Core. What's not on here? No Friend Core and no Armored Core. So Armored Core with an enchant would actually be pretty crazy now, because it's really fast comparatively and does scale. And honestly, the Friend Core is kind of weak, so that one probably still just sucks. But this is a pretty relevant buff to the Armored Core, relatively speaking. Arc Blaster, this is because of 3D printer chaining it. Atomic Clock is 2 ammo from 3. Those bastards. But okay, that makes sense, because it's still a 1-second item, which is crazy. Battery 5 is very important, because battery one-shot builds are very common. Bomb Squad is still really fast. Chris Army Knife is still really fast. They got like really buffed in the last patch. So LEDs on 6 is pretty dead. Coolant on 6 is pretty much the same thing. You'd mostly use it for its de-ignition. Copper Ed still very good. First Aiden, he was actually bonked to 5 and then unbonked back to 4. When he was at 5, it was pretty bad item. So I'm expecting First Aiden to be pretty bad again. Flintstones is fine. Forklift might hurt it a little bit, because a lot of the items that you'd have beside the Forklift are the ones that just got nerfed. So it's kind of a double nerf to Forklift. I think Forklift actually is much worse now. RIP Forklift. The Wasp, 0.5. Interesting. So it's actually faster at Diamond, the same as at Gold, and worse at Bronze and Silver. I can get behind that. GPU is fine. RIP Hamlet. Wow, big Armadillo buff. Armadillo is very good, and now you can get it to 7. That's very big. I think Armadillo is going to be a good contender, especially with the Armored Core being unchanged. Aegis, whatever. ISO Freezer, probably for the best. Laser Pistols sucks now. Light Bulb was rarely used on the actual board. Microdave is nerfed because they nerfed the small items. Microdave gaining 1 second is not that big a deal, but because they're nerfing the fast small items, Microdave is nerfed. Nitro going to 5 is a pretty big nerf. Plasma Grenade going to 7 is a much needed nerf. Power Sander, still okay. Pulse Rifle, still very good. The Burning Bug is stronger at Diamond. Usually you didn't need to level it, so now you kind of want to level it. That's pretty fair in my opinion. The Remote is slower at Silver and Gold and Diamond. And they're also nerfing Battery. They're nerfing Press by this change. Rex Specs, 11-second cooldown, I think is kind of cooked. So even with the adjacency bonus, the cooldown is 9 seconds. That is a very large difference from 6. That's a 50% cooldown increase. Yo, the Rex Specs is gone. See ya. Dunsky. That is a monster nerf on Rex Specs. Because Rex Specs has 1 second less cooldown for adjacent, I don't know what it is, relics and dinosaurs. So it's not 8 to 11. It's 8 minus 2 to 11 minus 2. So it's 6-second cooldown to 9 seconds. It's a 50% cooldown increase. And the main weakness of Rex Specs was that it was kind of slow. And it's now 50% slower. Again, that's a colossal difference. I think Rex Specs is cooked. I think out of this list, Rex Specs is by far the most nerfed, followed by Forklift. I think Forklift is pretty big nerf because it's a double nerf. Rocket Launcher 8, still pretty decent. Tanky Enki. Tanky Enki was so busted early that making him slower and do less damage probably does not change very much. Still very strong. Wow, they actually didn't change Dino Sour, the 3-second cooldown one. That's kind of wild. So dinos will still be fine, but Rec Specs, you have to pretend like it doesn't exist, basically. Bolus 6 is fine. Still quite strong. Card Table 5, bit of a nerf. Catfish the 6, needed to be nerfed more than that. Eels was barely usable, and with another second nerf, I think it might be kind of bad now. Grenade at 6 is probably for the best. Lighter at 4 is a pretty big nerf to both lighter and keg builds. Mantis Shrimp at 10 changes absolutely nothing on its own, but we'll see what else they nerf. Because basically when it goes off, you just kill your opponent. If it goes off a second later, you might actually have applied more slows in that second. So it'll go off a little bit later, but it might actually do more damage when it goes off. So this is like not that big of a deal. Same thing for Mr. Richardson. It's slower, but if it's 1 second later, you might have more triggers, so it's not that much of a nerf. Musket was like super broken early. Might still be good. It's not really an endgame item though. Salt Claw, same thing as Richardson, not that big of a nerf. Pearl going to 6 does impact looping builds quite a bit. I actually didn't know Pistol Sword was 4, I thought it was 3. But Pistol Sword is the one that does damage when you use an ammo item. You don't actually care about the Pistol Sword itself very much, so that doesn't matter. Pop Snappers, 3 to 4. Pretty significant early game. Keg 24. Oh, keg builds are done. Not only did they nerf most of the fast burning items, but they nerfed the cooldown on keg, which is probably fine. But they also made it not do 100% health, so you cannot go all in on keg unless you get a good damage enchant. You might not need obsidian, but you probably need like burning or poison. I think it's still going to be played, but like much more rarely than it is currently. I didn't really like Sea Dog Saloon very much. I've seen it played and I've lost to it, so I guess it's still probably playable. Shark Claws the 6 is pretty big nerf, but it needed to happen. Shot Glasses, same thing. Volcanic Vents, that's kind of a big nerf. Vanessa's definitely eating some nerfs here. Those are pretty big nerfs. Water Wheel's the same at Diamond. It's just much worse at Silver. Honestly, I rarely used it at Silver, so it doesn't really matter to me very much. Weather Glass got nerfed? Bro, who the hell is winning with Weather Glass? Who's doing that? I don't think I've purchased this item in a month. Okay, I literally haven't bought this item in a month. So that's kind of confusing. Zorsid is still super broken at 7. That's not a big deal. Fixer Upper at 5. Fixer Upper is not that viable, but they did nerf most of the strong stuff, so honestly, it might be fine. Same thing with Money Tree. Pen FT being a toy is very significant. You can give it multi with the model toy ship. And you can give it multi with a number. Wow, that's actually ridiculous. Pig's new item pack has a lot of toy synergies. We're talking about a 2-second cooldown item that you can easily give multi with multiple methods now. And they just nerfed all the fast items from all the other classes. So this is really, really strong. Yeah, Pen FT is actually kind of wild. Showcase going to 6, that's fair. Skyscraper going to 8, I don't know. Snowmobile no longer infinitely looping with Yo-Yo. I mean, this was kind of busted. You're gonna need like some form of additional haste now. Or you need to give Yo-Yo an extra multi. Can you do that? So 3 for the drum, 3 for the new toys give you multi. So we're at 6. No, there's not enough space. You cannot give Yo-Yo 3 multi with the Snowmobile. So it's going to be quite unlikely to do an infinite loop Snowmobile Yo-Yo combo now. Which means the pursuit of full weapons should not be as high priority as it was before. Because this was, on average, the best build that you could fairly often pursue on Pig. Now you probably want to keep your options open. Like, I think a 28-hour fitness is about as strong now. A lot of other builds going to be about as strong now. So. Subscraper. Weird. Just haven't really, like, I don't think I've lost to a subscraper in the last month. But okay. Boxcutter is a really fast weapon, so it's going slow a little bit. Multi-tool to 6 is honestly a pretty big nerf because it's a haste and slow item. Null Frost, when you use an item, freeze it for 1 second. Okay. Well, I'm sad to see this, but that item is so broken, so yeah, I guess it's fine. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Defense grid. So it's still 10, and then it's 15, 20, 20, 35, 25 from 50. Big nerf, but I think that's kind of good. Hardened shield. I'm actually not sure what hardened shield is. Let me actually look this up. I think it's the one when you crit, your shields get. No, when your enemy uses a weapon, your shield items now gain 20 and 10. So that's a pretty big anti-weapon tool now. Shields were generally not holding up very well in the last month's meta. So that seems like kind of crazy to me, but not like people were winning with this, so it might be fine. Improvised weaponry. Isn't this the one where if you sell a small item, you get... Oh no, this is when you crit, your weapons gain damage. Pretty big buff to dually. That's a very, very strong skill. Moth to the Flame is you have regen equal to the burn on your opponent. It's actually not showing up under skills. Oh, it's Moth to a Flame. What? What? Come on, Bazaar. Unplayable. What is this? What is the Flame? I don't recognize this skill. This is alien to me. Powerful skill, but it's diamond only. Quick freeze. Scaling changed. Quick freeze. That's the haste one. The haste one was freezing longer than the other ones. They nerfed the other ones last month. So I don't know why they skipped the haste freezing one. Probably good. Toxic. Is this the weapons? Yeah, when you poison, your weapons gain damage. So this is really just a nerf for Giga Synergistic Poppy Field Mac builds. Keep in mind, they bonked a lot of powerful items, but they did not bonk any weapon that you would use in a Poppy Field build. So basically, Poppy Field builds are going to be really strong now, but you're not going to be able to have like as much of a god roll as you did before. Because Toxic with a Poppy Field build is a god roll. Toxic Flame, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. That's much more sensible, honestly. Waters of Infinity. What skill is this? This is the one where you have regen for each non-weapon that you have. I actually started a day 1 with it. So it's this skill. You have 10 regen for each non-weapon. So in that run, I got the bronze version of the skill from the friendly beast encounter, whatever it is. And I did have 60 regen passively on day 1 as a result of that. And I think I lost, which I know it sounds unbelievable, but Bazaar is a wild place. But yeah, obviously that's completely broken. So the starting at silver really only changes getting it from the friend encounter in the first couple days, which obviously is very, very sensible. Okay, wow. Truth be told, I have enjoyed late season, late month Bazaar in the last month much more than any other, even though I think their seasonal rollout last month was the worst yet because of like the RNG and matchmaking being so crazy and all that kind of stuff. So actually, even though this doesn't look like many substantive changes, I think for the most part, this is like a really good refining of the previous balance. Now, with that said, Dooley is going to play pretty different because Dooley had a lot of his items changed. Some for the better, even. So I think Dooley is still going to be pretty fresh. He received the most cooldown changes. And Vanessa and Pig are getting new item packs, but honestly, Mac kind of got wrecked. Like, Mac is actually pretty much the same as last patch. So that is the only thing that I think is a little lame. I would have liked to seen either more cooldown changes or just change some things that Mac does. Other than that, looks pretty good.